Hi, this is Nicole. I'm the coordinator from Ustick, and welcome to episode 2 of our cooking enrichment. Today we are making donuts, sugar and cinnamon donuts to be specific. So don't forget to, to start things off, I've already washed my hands. So if you're watching this video, please make sure you're following safe hand washing and washing your hands with soap and water before you begin. To start off, you're gonna need a bowl. I have my mixer right here. You don't necessarily need a mixer, but you are gonna have to beat like the sugar and eggs and butter together to get this done. And then the other bowl is for the dry ingredients. So we'll start with dry ingredients to make our donuts. We have 3.5 cups of flour, which I'm gonna just dump right into this bowl right here. I have 1 tablespoon of baking powder. Dump it in there. I have 3/4 teaspoon of salt. Dump that in there. I have a 1 teaspoon of cinnamon that I'm gonna dump in there. And then I have a 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg. So I'm gonna dump that in there as well. So that's gonna get our spice for our donut, and I'm going to kind of whisk that around so it all incorporates together. All right, so now we're going to add our wet ingredients into our mixer. So to start off, I have 2/3 cup of sugar, and I'm going to just dump this into the mixer like that. I have 1/3 cup of milk, so I'm going to pour that with the sugar. I'm going to put my mixer down and kind of slowly start this. I have right here a 1/2 cup of melted butter, so just 1 stick of melted butter. So I'm going to pour that in while it's mixing. And then I also have 4 eggs that I've already put into a bowl and beat them. It's going to go directly in there with the egg, or with the milk, sugar, and the butter. So I'm going to pour those in like so. And then I'm going to turn this up, and it's going to beat for at least 5 minutes. All right, now we've let this beat for 5 minutes. I'm going to get the mixer up. I'm actually going to get this bowl out. You're going to need a wooden spoon. So I have a wooden spoon. I'm going to kind of just stir up the bottom here real quick. And then I'm actually going to pour the wet ingredients with our dry ingredients. So you're going to use this wooden spoon to help mix it instead of using the mixer. Kind of old-fashioned, but you know, it works. So we're going to mix all of this together to make it kind of like dough. So when all of this incorporates, you're going to cover this, and it actually has to chill for like 2 hours in the fridge. It's probably the longest portion of this in general is letting it sit. But yeah, you want your dough to be consistent. So if you have to, since you washed your hands, you could incorporate this with your hand once it starts getting really stiff, which I might start doing because it's starting to get really stiff. You can kind of mix it around with your hand a little bit, like so. Perfect. So you want your dough to kind of, you know, it's kind of sticky still, and that's fine. It's going to have to chill. That butter that you put in it is going to kind of help with the hardening process of this. So when we do take it out after 2 hours and then we roll it onto some more flour, your dough will be perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and wash my hands again. Let this dough chill for 2 hours. Hi, welcome back. Now that we have chilled our dough for 2 hours, it is now time to take the dough out of the bowl. You're going to want to put a little bit of flour down on your board to be able to roll it out so it doesn't stick to it. I have already done that, and so I have it kind of laid out. You don't want your donut too thick, otherwise when you fry it, it may come out undercooked. And so you want to probably do about maybe 2-inch thick, maybe less than that, maybe a 1.5-inch thick. So I have already rolled my dough out. I already stuck my cookie cutter right here, my circle cookie cutter. So I have this, and then I don't have a small enough cutter to make the donut hole, but I do have piping bag tips that I use the backs of them. And I'm actually going to just make a circle kind of like that. So then I have my donut ring, and I also have my donut hole, which is right here. So you're going to want to continue doing that throughout your dough, making different shapes for your donuts. And then when you're done, you want to make sure you have a pot. I'm using a Dutch oven, a pot filled with some oil, but it doesn't have to be super thick, maybe like about, maybe 3 to 4 inches with some veggie oil or canola oil. And it needs to get up to the temp of 375. I have a candy thermometer that I use. All right, welcome back. We have our oil at 375 right now. I'm going to go ahead and stick 3 of our donuts right here that we already cut out into some oil, and it'll pop back up here in a minute. So these guys are going to cook for a little bit until they're golden brown on one side, and then once we see the golden brownness, we will flip them so that they can cook on the other side as well. And then when we're done frying these guys, they kind of turn out like these ones right here that are golden brown. They're warm. So while they're still warm, we need to roll these. We're going to roll this in a cinnamon sugar mixture, like so. And set that one aside. So we'll just kind of roll all 3 of these donuts into this mixture. Like that. Perfect. You've got your sugar cinnamon donuts right there. Enjoy them. Next week we're going to be focusing on breakfast, so we're going to do an episode on how to make omelets and another episode on how to make pancakes. See you next week.